wood. I think we figured it out. We're changing planes but keeping it the same, if that makes sense. I don't know what all we've said in the past, but at this point we're trying to save back there those big massive oak trees.
Not that one and not that one.
Yeah, but those back there, and that's where our shop and house is going to be. So we're going to take out this tree, this little cluster right here, that big tree, and then this big tree, which sucks. The last thing we want to do is start cutting out all these trees, but at least they're in one area.
And we kind of like, I mean, we have been sitting here going
for a while now,
back and forth. And
so long the time to went out.
Whoa, baby! No, he never charges his watch. But, yeah, kind of like weighing which trees at this point, basically, to take out. Would we rather this or that? And then we tried thinking about moving the grain silo completely different spot.
Yeah, multiple different spots.
And then we got to think about power because we've learned our lesson with that.
Yeah.
So
we want to stay close to the road without being right on top of the road. We want to stay in our layout that we like because it makes sense and the power's all together. Everything's good. It'd be a guest house if we end up building a normal house.
Or it's our forever home.
Yeah, and then the power would be hooked up to all of it, the driveway. It all makes sense. So we would rather cut down some smaller trees than really big mature trees.
But we didn't do this without really thinking about it because again, it does suck taking these out.
It does, but
again, I would much rather these than, I'll show you which ones we're talking about.
Why did you eat that one? I haven't seen a mushroom like this out here like that. I thought it was a centipede, but it's a mushroom.
Some fungi.
Let's see what happens.
Okay, so now to the trees. So we're really trying our best to keep these trees. They are big, pretty, gorgeous.
Sure. And then this one is awesome. It's really big, but half of it's dead on top. So
this is the one that people call Widowmaker on Coffee to Crockers.
That's what they said?
Yeah.
Why did they call this a Widowmaker?
Oh, maybe they're talking about this one.
Yeah, that one, because it's dead, it'll fall. You know what they call a Widowmaker?
It's fall on you.
Yeah, and it'd kill me. What would that make you?
But I'm not married.
We're basically married.
Future.
But we in the future now already. So, this one we were always going to take out. It's kind of dead, but it'd be a cool one to throw in the sawmill, see what it looks like on the inside. But this one, who cares? But those are awesome. We're going to try our best not to get rid of them.
Yeah, well, we really like these. So, is the chainsaw working?
Yes.
Let's go.
Why do you act like I don't keep up with my stuff?
Well, because sometimes it doesn't work.
It works.
Huh?
Just not sharp?
Maybe, yeah.
Or it just doesn't work?
Oh, yeah. Did
It
you put
works.
a new chain?
Got a new chain on it. We'll find out.
Also, another tree we really want to keep is this one. I don't know if the GoPro does justice for these trees, but you guys know on Shoot Dang Ranch we didn't have like the big mature trees. So now that we're here, it does hurt us to have to cut down some of them. But I don't know, you gotta kind of pick and choose, I guess.
All right, before Danielle got here this morning, I went ahead and marked. It'd probably be hard in GoPro, but I put a stick here, there, over there, and over there, basically 24 foot. This is after we cut down the 2 trees, and I started looking. We don't have to technically cut any more trees, but what I'm thinking is I walked to the road, I walked down the road, I walked over there, kind of just looking at everything, and if it's here and it's cutting around this way, this tree will eventually grow up into it.
Yeah.
So we could trim some of these branches. Clearly, anything that's probably like 10 feet, 12 feet up, we'll just clear it down so it's clean all on the bottom. But I'm thinking if we scoot this back just a little bit in there, it'll be okay. And then I'm trying to do the least amount of cutting as possible. But this tree for sure has to go. It's leaning bad.
Yeah.
There ain't no real saving that. And plus, we're going to end up having a driveway and all that.
And ignore the puppies.
Don't ignore them. They're only here for a little bit longer.
We have them up right now because, again, we're about to work, cut down trees. Don't need them.
Don't need that.
Yeah.
So this tree and that, we were actually going to cut out these 3 trees. And I'm thinking if we cut out these 2 only,
Okay.
and then we move it back, that gives us room to build and have the silo go straight up in this gap, and then also an area to build for the back.
Yeah.
Kind of a hangout area, deck, all that
Little
stuff.
fire pit and
Yeah.
stuff.
And then it would still be far enough out of the way when we do a shop, it'll be over there.
That's what I was going to say. Is I do like the idea of it being back a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I don't think we filmed, but did walk, so the fence line where it would be is getting a little bit closer to it, but again, we're kind of weighing pros and cons with it.
Yeah.
This is a skinnier property. It's like, okay, we're closer to the fence. We can do that, save some trees.
Yeah. Because so we cut 2 trees out already, and it opened it big time to where we technically don't have to cut anymore. So whenever we come in, I want to cut that little one for sure in the back because it'll open it up. But then I also think this one needs to go. I hate doing it because it's a good straight tree, but
You don't think there'd be enough room
well,
if we?
but I'm talking about it's got to go back a little bit for sure, and then we either, if you want to put a deck and everything there, that tree's got to go, and I'd rather cut it now before we have a silo it could fall on.
Yeah.
So that one, and then this curved one. I don't know if it sucks. We'll start with the curved one maybe, and then because that one's for sure is going, and then we'll start maybe with that back one first, and see if we can go back enough and it makes sense, and then might have to cut this one out. I'd love to save this tree if we can. It'd be great. And then I was also thinking changing the driveway. I was looking at that.
Okay.
So
many changes.
I guess we got to come over here.
Okay. Dang, they usually don't yell like that.
That is, the weather's better, I think.
They're wanting to really play.
Yeah. Once we're done cutting trees, we'll let them out. But
Again, safety first on this one.
yeah, we ain't taking risk for that. But so originally, over there where the cattle guard is, the driveway, it kind of comes up at an S and over. And we've had that originally from the beginning because it was already kind of a somewhat already path made. Now that it's open and stuff, I'm thinking the reason, it'll make sense here in a minute. We don't want a straight driveway. We could easily go right there through the open, straight up to all of it. We don't want a straight driveway, so whenever we put trees or bushes or whatever down it, it'll kind of block a little bit, and then we're gonna end up, I'm pretty sure, in the front, planting some type of shrubs, trees, something to block some of the view. So I'm thinking, this is where I've driven before. I know it's a lot of talking, but it's behind the scenes, right?
Yeah.
So whenever stuff was in the way over here, I started driving up over here, and we'd have to 100%, we got to put a culvert in either way, but over here we have to fill in and smooth it out a little bit. Coming through here, and then it'll literally attach to where the driveway was before. And the reason I'm thinking that is, one, it'll be real easy to come in and swing in and come around. And then 2, it's a little further from the neighbors. They came in and put a driveway right on the property line, which they kind of had to because the rest of the property goes downhill, and I don't want our entrance right next to their entrance. And so if it's a little more in the middle, we could do that. And then I was thinking too, because the original plan was the pond is over there, and we want it to where we can have animals in there. So if we do the driveway here, then we can come up probably like through here and fence it all the way.
Yeah.
And then you have this whole side without having to do a weird fence with the driveway.
Yeah.
Do that, and then we'll have the barn. So then you just literally come up the driveway, go over to the house and all that, the shop, or it'll kind of go that way to the barn, and then we'll just have a straight fence all the way to the barn.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Here's my question. What type of fence? Are we doing the bougie looking the whole way? Or at that point, is it?
That's a tomorrow problem. That's not, we're trying to get a house built right now.
True.
We're not doing fence, but that is something to think about. I would love to have the bougie looking fence, but you're talking, it costs 3 times as much.
Yeah.
So I'm okay if the front fence is kind of the nice fence, and then everything back is the
Yeah.
whatever y'all want to call it, barbed wire or field fencing, the goat fencing, whatever y'all want to call it.
Which we were thinking about anyway, like this whole front part and being where cows are anyway.
So here would be a thing that I know you weren't really wanting, but I think it's probably for the best.
Don't allow them over here.
Correct. If it's fenced off, literally this section would be ours. And that's maybe half an acre. Maybe a quarter to half an acre is ours, and then 9 3/4 is the animals. So that would give us our section. That would be kind of our yard, get it nice and done up good. And then everything here, that way and back would be animals.
Yeah. I guess that way too we would be able to put like a garden right there.
Yeah, and that would, it would make sense. It doesn't matter from the road. It would look good.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, and it's open to the sun and everything. That would actually work.
Yeah.
So that's another thing I've been trying to think about. Is like, where on earth would we put a garden? Because again, we want most of it open to the animals. You know, the animals are going to eat it all. So I mean, okay.
What we would probably end up doing once we got it fenced in and everything, before we did a garden, probably throw our pigs in there. Have the garden fence, throw the pigs in there, let them
do their thing.
Do their thing for a while. Tear it up, and then all we got to do is go in and till it up at that point, and it'll work pretty good. I know a bunch of homesteaders and stuff do that, but it would make a lot of sense since we already going to have pigs to utilize them. And then I don't know, it would be cool too, like if that's definitely our tiny house and could be our forever home, we don't know, but you look out on that side, we have a garden and everything, and then you're not far from the pond. The animals will still be fairly close. I don't know, I think it'll work. And then all of this right here is the most usable flat area without having to do a crazy pad or anything like way off. The neighbors over there had to do a big pad.
Yeah.
A lot of work. And so I think if we keep everything of ours over here and let the animals have the rest, then we're utilizing it the best it could be.
But baby, you know we still gotta have some ramps.
Oh yeah, that'll be all through the woods and stuff.
With them dirt bike boots.
You don't need flat land for ramps, baby.
I just meant you meant, you know, like it would be for the animals. But
Wild thing animal right here, baby.